You do, yeah. You do have a choice to be an independent, tough person. If you're an independent, tough person, and you've fought enough people and won those fights, then you might have earned the respect of the gang for the gang to leave you alone. You know, in my situation, over 100 people wrestled with me, including some of my bouncers. So I was in a very unique situation, because I'm not a tough guy, you know, the gangs would have annihilated me. So I was able to resist the gang because I had so many friends in there with me, and some of them were really big and tough themselves. But it's very hard, the pressure's very intense, and it's all racial gangs in Arizona. So whatever colour you are, you have to go and sit with those people at the chow when you're eating your food. And if you're working out, you have to work out with those people. Early on I was working out with a Mexican American, and I got told right away by the gang, you know, that was a no-no and I couldn't do it. And if you violate the gang rules, you know, they're going to smash you. So you've got to play along with it. No matter how you feel inside, you've got to play along with it, because it's life and death, basically. So there are some independent, tough people who've resisted the gang, but they've had to fight to earn those reputations. Yeah. Okay, next question, please.
Do you think if the prison officers had treated the people in the prisons differently, it would like decrease the level of aggression?
If the guards treated the prisoners differently, absolutely, because in Scandinavia, the guards treat the prisoners more humanely. And they have the lowest crime, they have the lowest reoffending in the world. In Arizona, where I was at, which has got the hardest core prisons, where they treat the prisoners like animals, they've got the highest reoffending, they've got the highest crime rates in America. And the way you treat someone, you know, if you treat someone like an animal, they're gonna behave like an animal. A lot of them are gonna behave like an animal. And they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be violent. And that's going to continue into society. So treating people like that, it's not helping society in the long run, it's actually harming society. But the reason it's so prevalent is there's something deep-rooted in the human psyche that feels prisoners, lock them up and throw away the key, treat them as hard as possible. These guys have cheated, you know, the rules of society, they don't deserve anything. And the media preys on that. The media puts out these headlines about how prisoners, how cushy it is, they've got video games and gourmet food and all this stuff, which is nonsense, but it keeps the public hating on the prisoners. So, you know, that's how it's considered normal for prisoners to be treated like animals in Arizona, and it's, you know, in other places around the world. But it creates long-term problems for our society. If the guards did treat the prisoners more humanely, you know, there would be less aggression, there would be less violence. These guys, when they get out of prison, would stand a better chance of being productive members of society. Okay, next question, please.
Are you on watch 24/7? Like you said that in extreme cases people can murder people in jail.
Yeah.
How does that happen if there are guards? Is that a really stupid question?
How do people get murdered in jail? That's your question. Yeah. Okay, I've got videos on my website right now of gang members and guards murdering prisoners. Yeah. In my Band of Abroad episode, there was a statistic that says 62 people died in the jail I was at over a 5-year period. Yeah. Now, the gang member that's murdering the prisoner, his name's Peter Van Winkle, I think it is, and he's murdering a guy called Robert Cotton, and Van Winkle is a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. Robert Cotton has refused to beat someone up for the Aryan Brotherhood, and the method he kills him, he just smashes his head into the concrete for 10 minutes, over and over and over. 10 minutes in, he's still not dead, he starts stomping on his head. 20 minutes he's dead, and the guards still haven't responded, so he grabs the body, brings it out and puts it right in front of the guard's camera so they can see it. He tries to throw it off a balcony and it gets stuck on a railing, and he starts kicking it over and over and over again. Only then do the guards notice what's going on and put this guy down. This is how much control the gangs have got over the prisoners versus the guards. And the reason this comes about is because you've got 2 guards watching hundreds of prisoners. In America, the prisons are a business model. They get $50,000 a year of taxpayers' money per prisoner. So to keep the overhead down, to keep the profits up, they have as few guards as possible, watching as many prisoners as possible. And that's the gangs can get away with doing whatever they want. That guy who murdered that prisoner, Robert Cotton, Van Winkle, who murdered Robert Cotton, he was sentenced to death because it was caught on camera. But the gangs know where all the blind spots are, like in the showers, and that's generally where they'll kill people. Now, the people who were killed by the guards, they weren't big bad gang members. Brian Crenshaw was classified as a partially blind shoplifter, failed to produce his ID for the evening meal. The guards pulverised him, broke his neck, severe internal injuries. He went into a coma and died over a month later. Scott Norberg was a mentally ill man wandering a neighbourhood. They brought him in. The guards started pulverising him and electrocuting him with taser guns. A female guard tried to stop it, stopped beating him, his face has turned blue. He pushed her off and they kept beating him. The inmates watching the holding cell started yelling, why are you beating him, he's already dead? And even after that they continued to beat the corpse, turned blue and everything. Both of those cases were caught on camera. Family members of the victims of the guards sued the jail and awarded millions in compensation. The boss of the jail, he gave some of the guards who were found responsible in court for murdering those prisoners pay rises and promotions. Yeah. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, that's a direct reward for murder. It's almost an incentive to murder. So, you know, it's an environment where anything goes. And it's murder just, you know, you just look at it as the cost of being in business, I think, these private prisons. It's going to happen. Does that fully answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question, please.
Okay.
How are we doing on the video? Oh, okay.
So,
It's still recording.
Okay.
Okay, one thing, your head is a bit chopped off at the top, because I don't know if you move it up.
Okay, yeah, just move it up.
Oh, okay.
Right. Do you want to just restart it for the next one now?
How do I do that?
Just press the big button.
Sorry.
Press the big button.
Sorry.